Part 65. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 642. Chen Ling understood the reason. But she was helpless. The elevator made a ding sound, indicating that they had arrived. Wang Zhen took Chen Ling's hand and led her out of the elevator, but don't worry, you have a good foundation, and I am very capable. As long as you are willing to cooperate with me, no matter where you sink, I can pull you out. But it doesn't matter, Wang Zhen said, you can do whatever you want, I will accompany you. At worst, I will rely on you, anyway, I will not worry about food and drink in the future. Moreover, the two GGS I picked for you are very promising. Wang Zhen's words were interrupted by an abrupt and sharp female voice. Hey, who is this? Isn't this the idol sister Zhen? Chen Ling looked in the direction of the voice. The speaker was a female star with a curvy figure and a makeup as enchanting as Sudaji Mendaiyun. Mendaiyun was wearing a long dress that was 2 sizes smaller than her body. Her breasts were squeezed so tight that they seemed to burst out at the next moment. Her false eyelashes were so thick that Chen Ling felt tired for her eyelids. Wang Zhen's face suddenly darkened. But she still restrained herself and whispered to Mendaiyun, Teacher Min, good morning. Then, she wanted to drag Chen Ling and leave quickly. Wait, don't go, Mendaiyun did not intend to let Wang Zhen go. She stepped on high heels and walked towards Wang Zhen, saying with disdain, you are an idle agent with no work at hand. What are you doing in such a hurry? Mendaiyun deliberately dragged out the end of her words, which was full of provocation. Moreover, she deliberately pretended not to see Chen Ling, a living person, standing next to her. Wang Zhen explained, well, my artist got a job offer, I have to contact the legal department and the finance department quickly. Your artist? The one who is a bit famous, but he doesn't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is, and he went to America to hook up with a rich man. Mendaiyun raised a naked sneer at the corner of his mouth. I advise you to change someone quickly, this kind of artist will only be popular for half a year at most. Wang Zhen pursed her lips and said nothing. She prayed wholeheartedly that Mendaiyun would leave quickly after he had a good talk, and not to upset the ancestor behind her. Unfortunately, Mendaiyun couldn't hear Wang Zhen's voice. Seeing that Wang Zhen was silent, Mendaiyun turned his face to Chen Ling, and put on a very exaggerated and artificial expression of surprise, as if he had just discovered Chen Ling standing next to him. Oh, isn't this the one, what's her name? Mendaiyun showed a thoughtful expression and clapped his hands, Huang Ling? Am I remembering it correctly? Chen Ling looked at her coldly and uttered 2 words, Chen Ling. Oh, look at my brain, Mendaiyun apologized, but her expression was very disdainful. Anyway, orange and yellow are similar. Ah, Chen Ling was surprised. Mendaiyun was also surprised, what's wrong? Chen Ling showed a very concerned expression and said, Teacher Min, if you think orange and yellow are similar, and you can't tell the difference between the orange in orange and the Cheng in the surname Cheng, that's a sign of Alzheimer's disease. You must pay attention. Although you are only 40 years old, I heard that some people who overuse their brains will show symptoms of premature aging. Teacher Min, early detection and early treatment. Mendaiyun was actually just over 30 years old. But female stars all have age anxiety, and Chen Ling accidentally stepped on her pain point. Wang Zhen covered her forehead on the side, Chen Ling's mouth is too mean. It's not enough to force people to live to 40 years old, they even have Alzheimer's disease. Mendaiyun's lips turned pale with anger, I don't have Alzheimer's disease. Then prove it, Chen Ling said, how do I write this word Cheng? Huh, Mendaiyun was stunned. To be honest, she hasn't written for many years. Although she knows the word Cheng and has no problem typing on her phone, She really forgot how to write it when she was asked to write it suddenly. Under the gaze of Chen Ling and Wang Zhen, she said with a stiff face, "Who said I can't write?" "Chen, a wood on the left." Chen Ling sighed and shook her head. It's over, Teacher Min, your condition is probably very serious now. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 643. Wang Zhen closed her eyes. It's not good to provoke anyone, but Chen Ling, one of her vests, is a writer. Min Dayun's face turned red with anger, and he spoke indiscriminately, even swearing, "You fart. I'm not even 30 years old." "You're under 30, Chen Ling's eyes widened in surprise, "then you have to take good care of yourself, task." Min Dayun almost cried. Chen Ling then took Wang Zhen's hand and wanted to leave. She had to go deep into the tiger's den, still defenseless, and be taken away. She was also under pressure. But in order to appease her family, she acted like she had the situation under control. It can only be said that Min Dayun hit the muzzle of the gun. If Min Dayun just gave up, this matter would be over, but Min Dayun refused to let Chen Ling go just like that. Chen Ling and Wang Zhen had just taken 2 steps toward the conference room at the end of the corridor when they heard Min Dayun speak again in a sarcastic tone. "You bitch who got to the top by selling your looks. Who doesn't know that you got all your good resources by selling your body?" Chen Ling stopped and then turned around very slowly. Min Dayun misunderstood the expression on Chen Ling's face, folded his arms and rolled his eyes. "Who in our circle doesn't know about your bad things? In order to become famous, you sleep with the screenwriter, the director, and the producer. People sleep." Chen Ling looked at Min Dayun calmly. Really, these people were still too full. Just listen to Min Dayun continue to type, "Tisk. It's a pity that you have hit a wall with Mr. Fu, right? Mr. Fu specially issued a statement on Weibo to clear up the relationship with you. Let me tell you, Mr. Fu never takes advantage of others. They are all 1,000-year-old vixens. Don't play nonsense with me." "Teacher Min, you know so many things that I don't know," Chen Ling said with a mocking smile on her lips. "You must have been slept with by others, right? You know so well that rich bosses don't eat, you idiot. I'm afraid you have been severely rejected by a rich boss. It's so pitiful." Min Dayun panicked. She did sneak into the hotel where Fu Yubin was staying, but she was thrown out by Fu Yubin's assistant before she even entered. "What the hell?" Min Dayun cursed angrily. Before he finished scolding, Chen Ling took a big step forward and quickly pinched Min Dayun's cheek. She suddenly leaned closer to Min Dayun, leaned into her ear, lowered her voice, and said coldly, "Keep your mouth clean. Otherwise, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life. Why aren't you mute?" Chen Ling's pupils were very dark, and when she wasn't smiling, she looked very cold and cold. Combined with her words at this moment, it made people feel chilling, as if she could really do anything. Min Dayun was angry at his fear at the moment. After Chen Ling finished speaking, he let go of his hand and said with a cold expression, "I would like to advise you. She no longer calls Min Dayun you. The company may not be unaware of your behavior of provoking other female artists. It's just that you entered the industry early, and the superiors did not care about you for the sake of friendship. But everyone will be annoyed, even if you are an old man in the company, but you are spending time like this one day, the company will become impatient with others' patience with you. At that time, the company will ask you to pack up and get out. People, you better know how to restrain yourself." "Well said," came a male voice. "Why does this voice?" Min Dayun's pupils tremble so much like a rich boss. The door of the conference room in the corridor was open, and a man wearing a racy blue striped suit walked out of it. It was Fu Yubin. Behind him were the heads of several major departments of the company, from the Commerce Department, the Legal Department, the Publicity Department, the Artist Management Department. Min Dae-eun's face was as pale as paper. Mr. Fu rarely comes to the company several times throughout the year, and other bosses rarely come to the company before lunch. Why did the big guys gather at the company before 10 o'clock in the morning today? Fu Yubin nodded to Chen Ling and smiled loudly. Teacher Chen, we have been waiting for you. Min Dae-eun? Are these big guys waiting for Chen Ling? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 644. Mr. Fu and his team did go to the company early in the morning to wait for Chen Ling. The Song of Light and Blood is the most anticipated costume drama in recent years. Chinese people like costume dramas in their bones, but unfortunately, it is difficult to have conscientious costume dramas in recent years. They have seen enough of those stereotyped shooting scenes and traffic stars with no acting skills. Their expressions, lines, and actions are all unqualified, not to mention those cliched, love-brained plots. The Song of Light and Blood is very consistent with the image of the original work, and everyone tries to interpret the lines themselves. In this way, there will be no sense of separation when performing. What's more, the actors are good-looking and have good acting skills. The costumes are tailor-made. Only a few of the weapons of the actors in the play are props. Most of them are real swords and guns. The subject matter is novel, the plot is ups and downs, and the rhythm of the plot is stable. It can be said to be a rare conscientious work in recent years. Since the filming began, the topic surrounding the play has never stopped. Outsiders were jealous, and the rival company was frantically buying black fans, blackening Light and Blood, blackening the actors, blackening the director, and blackening the editor. Xinjiao Fengxian Company could tolerate it. But Min Dae-eun, as an employee of Xinjiao, you actually attacked Chen Ling and Light and Blood out of jealousy. They were sitting in the conference room, and they could hear Min Dae-eun's crazy output against Chen Ling clearly. What can a man not tolerate? Fu Yubin walked in front of Min Dae-eun, and Min Dae-eun looked like he was about to faint. Fu Yubin slowly gave Min Dae-eun a death notice in a tone of regret. Min Dae-eun, the company remembers that you entered the industry early and made some contributions to the company, so we have always tolerated you, and have repeatedly reminded you of your bad words and deeds, and let your agent warn you, but it's a pity that you didn't take it seriously. What do you think of our tolerance for you? Huh. Fu, Mr. Fu, I. Min Dae-eun's lips trembled. Fu Yubin sighed reluctantly. You go to the legal department later and find lawyer Zhao, who is in charge of contract handling, to discuss the relevant matters of contract termination. In addition, the business department will verify what unfinished business you have on hand. The company will not bother you. You complete it according to the agreement and the money will be given to you according to the contract. Min Dae-eun finally knew to cry after hearing this. Mr. Fu, I was wrong. Give me another chance. Please. Don't beg me, quickly contact the studio you found and remove the posts that slander Chen Ling and the crew. Fu Yubin said, if I still see the post hanging in the evening, wait for the lawyer's letter. Min Dae-eun froze. It turns out that Mr. Fu knows. After Fu Yubin explained, he turned to Chen Ling, and his face was instantly replaced by a smile. Teacher Chen, don't let these dirty things ruin your mood. Let's go, we are in a hurry, hurry up and choose business for you, this is a big deal. Chen Ling didn't even look at Min Dae-eun and walked towards the meeting room. Those who do too much evil will eventually perish. Min Dae-eun is so skilled at bullying people, it can be seen that she has bullied weak persimmons many times. Unfortunately, she chose the wrong target today. Chen Ling is not only not a weak persimmon, but also a diamond thorn that cannot be crushed or broken by a hammer. Pinch her? It's purely courting death. Everyone sat down in the conference room. Fu Yubin got straight to the point and went straight to the point. I have asked the people who reviewed the film. Not only has our film passed the review, but there are almost no deleted parts. They also hinted to me that this is definitely a masterpiece that can be popular for many years. Even CCTV has already started to arrange the broadcast schedule. Chen Ling smiled and said, "Thank you, President Fu, for being so concerned about this drama and employees." Fu Yubin laughed, "How can I not be concerned about making money?" The head of the Ministry of Commerce pushed a pile of documents on the table to Chen Ling. "Teacher Chen, take a look. These are all the cooperation agreements I just received in the past few days, all big brands." Chen Ling didn't then, he tilted his head towards Wang Zhen beside him. "Everything about me is arranged by my agent, including what business I take and what variety shows I take." The head of the business department continued, "Then, Mr. Chang, the partners are all well-known big brands, don't you consider taking more?" Chen Ling suddenly clenched his fist and put it to his lips and coughed twice. "Sorry, I haven't been feeling well recently, and I want to rest for a while." "Not feeling well?" Look at Chen Ling sitting on the chair. Her face is ruddy, her eyes are bright, her posture is upright, and the whole person exudes a spirit and energy that can beat a few tigers without any problem. "Okay, I understand, it's all excuses." Zhang Zhenkuo, the old man, did say hello to Fu Yubin, saying that Chen Ling had some special tasks on her and must fully cooperate with Chen Ling. But it must be kept confidential. So Fu Yubin sat there and said nothing. Putting aside the old man Zhang, Chen Ling is also a cash cow for their company. Fu Yubin's attitude towards his cash cow was, of course, special. Min Daiyun would not be driven away, but he had to fire Min Daiyun to show his attitude towards Chen Ling. At least no one in the company would dare to provoke Chen Ling and her agent Wang Zhen in this way in the future. Unless he didn't want to continue in Xinjiao. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 645. Next, it's time to reselect Gigi. Chen Ling did not participate and left it entirely to Wang Zhen to make the decision. Wang Zhen is very grateful to Chen Ling for trusting and delegating power to her. She not only understood the preferences of netizens, but also knew Chen Ling very well. Finally, Wang Zhen cooperated with the Ministry of Commerce and the legal department to select 2 GGS. Chen Ling signed his name on the document. Afterwards, the Ministry of Commerce placed the signed documents on the table, aligned the length and width, and stood up to say goodbye. "We will arrange the shooting plan with the other party now, the GG copywriting is tailor-made for Mr. Cheng. Wait, then if you sign and seal it, you can get the copy back. Teacher Chen will prepare it. We will try our best to inform the other party to make arrangements for the shooting and try to finish it as early as possible." Chen Ling put down the signature pen and sincerely thanked, "Thanks to Mr. Lao Fu and all the leaders for taking the trouble. It should be. The Ministry of Commerce took the documents and left." Fu Yubin hesitated for a while, and finally said to Chen Ling, "I have something else I want to discuss with you." Chen Ling made a gesture of listening. "Please speak." Fu Yubin said, "I heard what you just said. What, you are not in good health recently? I just want to ask you, can you still attend the fan meeting this month on time?" "I'm afraid I'm going to be absent." A trace of guilt flashed across Chen Ling's face. "I plan to post a statement on Weibo later to explain the reason, and at the same time arrange this meeting at a later date. It's okay, your fans will definitely understand. I'll help you make arrangements on all major platforms." Fu Yubin waved his hand as if it was no big deal. "About issuing a statement on Weibo, I have a better proposal. Daol contacted me 2 days ago and asked you to open a live broadcast room to interact with fans. If you are willing and there is nothing to do in the afternoon, how about opening a live broadcast room? Firstly, you can interact with fans and consolidate their emotions. Secondly, you can directly say in the live broadcast room that you want to postpone the meeting, and post it again on Weibo later. Statement: it seems more sincere. Chen Ling hesitated for a moment and nodded. Then I have to put on makeup that looks sick. Okay, tell the makeup artist your request, Fu Yubin said with joy. He originally thought Chen Ling would refuse. In fact, Chen Ling agreed to live broadcast, on the one hand, to take care of the fans' emotions, but more importantly, to make the United Aid Society relax its vigilance. The other party is very cunning, and she must be extra careful and not make any omissions. Fu Yubin stood up happily and said to the head of artist management, hurry up and make arrangements with the clothing department and styling department and find the best costumers and stylists for me, no matter where they are. After saying that, he took out his phone, walked out of the conference room, and went to contact the boss of Daryl. The boss of Daryl said that as long as Chen Ling is willing to start a live broadcast, he will promote the live broadcast room on the entire platform. How much is that? This year I can definitely be proud of my dad and the bastard Fu Yuhei. Asterisk. It was close to 11:30. The workers had been busy all morning and were already tired. What's more, it's time for lunch and lunch soon. Naturally, they no longer have the mood to work, so they all pick up their phones and fish. As a result, I came across a promotion. Want to chat face to face with Chen Ling, today at 1400 hours sharp? Let's have fun together and see you there. Click the link below to jump. Ecstatic fans rushed to Chen Ling's Weibo to leave messages. Really? Really? My eldest sister is going to start a live broadcast. Sky. Sister, are you finally going to open for business? Live streaming. Live streaming. I'm going to give you a big rocket. I just became a fan of Chen Ling, but I found out that she was also selling goods. She had a fan base and was in a hurry to make money. Contempt.jpg. What happened to the goods? If it's the product of Big Sister's headband, I absolutely trust it. Master GEU said, make money, don't be slanderous. Celebrities must use their own influence. This is the value of stars. Why can't celebrities make money? They don't do charity either. The eldest sister taught me a lot of knowledge about living in society. I will be jealous when others get rich, but when she gets rich, I will only congratulate her. Comparison.jpg. Our eldest sister already takes great care of her feathers. Okay, she was offered endorsement deals for many products, but she didn't accept them. Before 14 o'clock, many people had already entered the live broadcast room. Everyone just chatted on the black screen, or exchanged comments with the trolls who sneaked into the live broadcast room, and they were very busy. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 646. 14 o'clock sharp. Come and chat with me, Chen Ling live broadcast room. The popularity is 10 million plus. Just as everyone was making jokes and chatting, the screen suddenly flashed and there was a picture. Chen Ling appeared on the screen. It's rare to see her dressed in a girl next door style, wearing a white turtleneck sweater, a goose yellow cardigan, and a pair of simple jeans. Her long black hair was hanging down, with one side of her hair tucked behind her ear. There was no trace of makeup on her face, making her look very approachable. The background of the live broadcast room is a simple workshop. This is a place specially used by Xinjiao Fengxian Company for live broadcasts. The moment Chen Ling appeared, barrages and gifts popped out of the live broadcast room like crazy. The viewers in the live broadcast room had to turn off the barrage so that the screen would no longer freeze. Dear friends, good afternoon. Chen Ling sat on a high-legged chair without a back, waving to the camera with a smile on his face. I am Chen Ling, and I am very happy to meet you all in the Dao live broadcast room. Ouch. Sister, you finally show up? If I don't show up, I will suspect that you have been kidnapped by your company. Sister, I really like how you are dressed like this, you look so good, but why do you look a little haggard? I also want to say that after not seeing each other for a few days, my eldest sister has actually lost weight. What happened? Have you been mistreated by your company? Play money to make money. Give money to my eldest sister. Since Ling entered people's attention on the Desperate Survival program, she has always shown a healthy and tough image. Today's Ling is different from before. Her cheeks are sunken and her lips are slightly pale. If you look closely, you can see that there is a faint dark blue under her eyes, and the whole person reveals a sense of paleness and vulnerability. Ling kept watching the barrage carefully. After seeing these comments, she said, "Don't spend money, just give some free gifts as tokens. As for your body." Ling sighed, "To be honest, I am indeed sick." "Ah, really sick? But doesn't the eldest sister exercise all the time?" "He actually fell ill. The flu is so severe this year most people can't handle it." "Is it because of the jet lag? You were still in the United States 2 days ago, and you started live broadcasting as soon as you returned to China. It's too hard to do it." "Sister Ling, although career is important, body is more important." "Sister, what exactly is wrong with you?" "I'm a little embarrassed to say it." Ling had a look of embarrassment on his face. I ate a lot of miscellaneous food in a foreign country, and I didn't know what kind of food I couldn't handle, so I got gastroenteritis." Let me translate: the foodie girl was greedy in a foreign country and got gastroenteritis. Concerned question: "Sister, how many times do you poop a day?" "I remember when I had gastroenteritis, I would poop at least 8 or 9 times a day." "No wonder." I said that the eldest sister was so thin that she was puckering her cheeks. "I thought she had to go on a diet to lose weight." Ha! Unexpectedly, it turned out to be caused by diarrhea. As the saying goes, a good man cannot stand up to 3 enemies. Sister Ling is also a strong-willed hero, but she can't stand diarrhea. I recommend several drugs that are particularly effective in treating gastroenteritis: montmorillonite powder, levofloxacin. In addition, pay attention to supplementing electrolyte water, and be careful of diarrhea. Ha 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 ha. After knowing the cause of my eldest sister's head, my merits are almost gone. Then quickly knock on the electronic wooden fish. "It's not worth losing merit for such a thing." Ling joked, and then she said with a serious expression, "However, I am here to remind everyone that you must pay attention to personal hygiene. Wash your hands before eating and after using the toilet. Many bacteria and viruses are caused by poor hygiene, such as herpetic gingivostomatitis, such as MXG virus." But Ling couldn't say it clearly. "However, I don't have a big problem. The doctor said that I need to take a good rest for a while, eat on time, and not have too much stress." Ling shrugged. "The doctor said it was very serious, but I was still very scared, so I may take a short break and meet you again." "I'm very timid." "Are you timid?" "Sorry. Can you say that again?" In short, the theme of today's live broadcast is to chat and talk with everyone. Everyone is welcome to actively participate. If you have any questions, please type them in the window below. "Sister, what are your measurements? Please tell us, which male celebrity do you like now? What is your relationship with the boss of your company? I want to watch the variety show National Mobilization on my eldest sister's head." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 647. The comments were too fast. And some questions were really weird. Ling looked at the screen and said, "Not all questions can be answered. I also ask some lovely viewers, after typing, read the questions you asked, and think about whether I can answer such questions. I think you want my live broadcast room to be reported and closed. I will pick a favorite answer. Chen-Ling leaned forward slightly and squinted at the screen. Big sister, what do you like to eat? Chen-Ling read the question, then tilted her head and thought for a while before answering. Actually, I don't have any special likes or dislikes, as long as the food is delicious enough, I can eat it. In other words, I have a picky taste and no taboos. I don't understand why everyone has to try local food when they go out. I really don't understand some local specialties. Chen-Ling smiled and said, I personally think that if you want to understand the culture of a region, the fastest way is to let it pass through your mouth and stomach. Oh my god, great minds think alike. Whenever I travel, I always prepare a guide for local food. You will find that food really reflects local culture. Climate factors also affect local eating habits. If you move to another city, you will slowly understand and accept the local food. I really agree with the saying that climate affects diet. I get acne on my face whenever I eat spicy food, but when I went to Sichuan, most restaurants serve spicy food, so I tried it and I didn't get acne at all. No matter what I eat in Sichuan, I don't get acne. I thought this trait had been cured, but as soon as I returned to the north, I got acne again after eating spicy food. I realized that it was because of the humid climate in Sichuan. Sichuan has a humid climate. If you don't eat spicy food to sweat, you will get sick easily. Although I had already eaten lunch, you mentioned Sichuan, and I immediately wanted to order a bowl of bobo chicken to satisfy my craving. I am from Shaanxi. Welcome everyone to my hometown to try the knife-cut noodles and fried pork. I rarely eat delicious knife-cut noodles outside. I miss home. 55,555. I am from Inner Mongolia. Our mutton is the best in China. Friends from Inner Mongolia, wait a minute, I am from Xinjiang. Where is the best mutton in China? Inner Mongolia. I don't accept it. Ha ha ha, how can you argue about this? I know, your mutton is delicious. Or maybe Chinese people attach great importance to food. When talking about food, they talk endlessly, and the barrage is stuck. Chen-Ling looked at the screen with a smile. She likes this kind of gathering and chatting happily, rather than some fake flattery. Big sister, besides eating, do you have any other hobbies? Chen-Ling looked at this barrage and read it out. She thought very seriously for a while, then counted on her fingers and said, making money, traveling, and reading. Making money, so straightforward. So down to earth. Can I say this? Why not? Making money is the foundation of a person's life in society, Chen-Ling said frankly, and most of your hobbies can only be maintained with money. Is this advocating the supremacy of money? Can you explain why you consider making money as a hobby? Because, one section of your spine is supported by money, Chen-Ling said seriously. I sincerely hope that you will never understand the heaviness of this sentence. I am not calling on everyone to follow money, but I hope that everyone can build an economic foundation for themselves through their own efforts. Only when you have an economic foundation will you not be enslaved by money. These days, there are really not many stars who dare to tell the truth. After my mother was diagnosed with lung cancer, the family spent all the money. When I started to borrow money, I realized how indifferent my relatives were. One section of your spine is supported by money. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 648. A gentleman loves money, but he gets it in a proper way, Chen-Ling reminded. Okay, let's change the topic. Let me see. Bullet screen. Big sister, can you tell me why you like reading? What kind of books do you like to read? As Chen-Ling read out this question, the figure of black fans appeared in the bullet screen. They lurked in Chen-Ling's live broadcast room, just waiting for the moment when she showed her flaws. And now, it was the moment when she exposed her weakness. How many stars can really settle down to read? Saying that they like reading is just because reading makes their interests more elegant. Reading, Sister Ling, have you really read a book? I guess you have only read the script of Song of Light and Blood. I want to hear, big sister, what reasons can you give for liking to read books? I hope you are not pretending. Chen Ling naturally saw these bullet screens. Oh, the black fans can't hold back. She smiled calmly and said, I like reading to make up for the regrets in life. I want to see how other children spend their childhood, happy, painful, or willful. I want to see what the campus life of teenagers is like. Crying after losing a game. Parents punishing? Adolescent restlessness? I have never experienced these. Books show me the various possibilities of life. The road of life is long and full of uncertainty, and the future is full of variables. But the world in the book is different. Everyone's life is designed. You can read the life of a person or several generations from a book, from the beginning to the end. We stand in God's perspective and clearly see how each protagonist makes their choices at the crossroads of fate and moves towards their predetermined ending. I unexpectedly discovered that the big sister is very eloquent. If these words were not memorized but performed on the spot, I would really admire them. I also like reading. I was not liked by my parents since I was a child, and no one liked me either, so I wanted to see how others enjoyed the favor of their families and spent their childhood and youth in fine clothes and horses. My campus life was heavy and depressing, but youth campus novels let me see another kind of youth. I want to find my lost youth in others. In real life, we will succumb to many injustices, compromise, and tolerate in the face of shitty people and things. We are wronged, but the world in the book is different. The protagonists are happy to repay their enemies and do whatever they want. The big sister is right, there are too many regrets in life. The words that were not said at the time, the confession that was not understood when the protagonist did what I didn't dare to do at the beginning and finally got together with my lover. I felt that my regrets were also made up. I like to read cool articles. I am tired like a dog every day, and I really just want to read brainless face-slapping cool articles. It can relax my mind. Chen Ling can easily grasp the topic and is very down-to-earth, making the audience feel the ease and intimacy of friends. A live broadcast lasted 2 hours, but for the audience, it passed in the blink of an eye. The staff in charge of the live broadcast gestured to Chen Ling behind the screen, telling her that it was time to end. Dear friends, the live broadcast is about to end. Thank you very much for your presence. I also enjoy the time with you. Thank you all. In addition, there is one important thing I need to tell you, and ask for your understanding. Because of my health, this month's fan meeting will be moved to the back. The specific date will be announced by my company, my agent, and my Weibo account. Please be wary of any form of invitation. Everything is subject to the official. Ah, it ended so quickly. Big sister, don't leave. Big sister, when will Song of Light and Blood be released? What are your work plans next? How long will you need to recuperate? Chen Ling did not answer the following question. She stood up and bowed to the screen. Goodbye, everyone. The staff turned off the live broadcast screen. Fu Yubin clapped his hands and walked in. Chen Ling, your live broadcast is very effective. Your Weibo fans have increased by more than 2 million. The popularity has jumped to the top 3 on Doual. Thank you, Mr. Fu. Chen Ling held her stomach. Does Mr. Fu have any other instructions? If not, I will go home and rest. No, Fu Yubin looked at Chen Ling suspiciously. Her face was indeed a little pale. Was she pretending? That acting is too good, right? It was not until Chen Ling got into Along's car that she removed her hand from the tail. In the live broadcast room, she saw a person swipe a lot of super rockets. The man's name was FWJ, the English abbreviation of Fang Wenjian, who was pretended by John Killen. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 649. When Chen Ling was detained by customs at San Francisco International Airport in California, John Killen was receiving Amos's personal assistant at his manor. As soon as he learned that Chen Ling was detained, Amos's assistant came to the door. This made John Killen guess the purpose of the other party's visit. After sitting down in the reception room, the assistant put his briefcase on his legs and said respectfully, "Hello, Mr. Fang, I am here on behalf of the Governor of California, Mr. Amos." Mr. Amos originally wanted to come in person, but he had some health problems, so he had to send me dash. Next Tuesday is Mr. Amos' birthday. He held a private banquet at his residence and specially invited you to go. After speaking, the assistant looked up at the man sitting in the high-backed leather chair opposite. This handsome Oriental man crossed his long legs, crossed his hands on his legs, and leaned his back on the high-backed chair. The whole person was lazy and relaxed, with a faint smile on his face. But the assistant felt that the other party didn't seem very happy. Was he angry because Amos didn't come in person? Everyone knows that the governor is very busy. Unless it is a very important person, the governor will come in person to deliver the invitation. The invitations of other people are delivered by the governor's assistant. As for the governor's inability to deliver it in person, so he sent his assistant to deliver it. This is an excuse that everyone knows. Finally, John Killen raised his eyelids and looked at the assistant sitting opposite him. He simply uttered a single syllable to show that he understood. The assistant immediately opened the briefcase on his lap, took out a gold-plated invitation from it, and handed it over with both hands. John Killen did not take it, but tilted his head. The butler next to him immediately stepped forward, took it with both hands, facing John Killen, and placed it on the table in front of him. John Killen glanced at it. "Birthday party, location, please bring your companions with you, and write your companions' names on the invitation." Companions. The assistant waited until John Killen's eyes left the invitation on the table before continuing, "This banquet is very private, and all the guests are Mr. Amos's relatives and friends. Mr. Amos is looking forward to your presence. I wonder if you can spare the time to attend." John Killen finally spoke, "I will think about it carefully." The assistant swallowed saliva in embarrassment. "Mr. Fang, I will report to Mr. Amos when I go back. I sincerely ask you to give an accurate reply, although I know this request is unreasonable." "Go back and tell Amos that I will go," John Killen said. The assistant breathed a sigh of relief and leaned forward slightly. "In addition, I need to know if you can bring your companions with you." John Killen looked at the assistant and said nothing. Could it be that Amos didn't know that Chen Ling had returned? He had previously suspected that the person who detained Chen Ling at the customs was Amos. But if it wasn't Amos, who else could it be? John Killen was very worried about Chen Ling. But he couldn't do anything now. The relationship between him and Chen Ling was just a relationship of lovers who were attracted to each other, and it was just a naked physical transaction between the two of them. If he showed that he cared about Chen Ling very much, then Chen Ling would become his constraint and weakness. You know, it is understandable that a man of Fang Wenjian's status would have a strong possessive desire for his woman. But showing excessive concern for a bed partner who had slept with him several times, that was very abnormal. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 650. Is it a test? Or is he really unaware? John Killen wanted to see the other party's attitude before making a judgment. So, he smiled faintly and said, "I'm going alone. No companions." Ah, the assistant was stunned. Before leaving for Fang Wenjian's manor, Amos specifically instructed that he would find a way to get Fang Wenjian to bring his new lover to the banquet. The assistant's eyes turned and he made up a reason temporarily. Most people who go to the banquet bring their relatives and friends. If you go alone, you will feel lonely, right? I'm alone. I won't bring my lover or friends, John Killen replied. But the assistant tried to find a new reason. John Killen interrupted him, my lover has returned to China. He raised his hands that had been crossed on his legs and looked at his watch. At this time, she should be on the plane. We can't let her return to America for this matter, right? John Killen shrugged, I don't mean anything else, it's not that the governor's birthday party is not important. What? Already returned to China? The assistant was a little surprised. John Killen showed a hint of annoyance on his face. He put down his crossed legs and instantly looked very intimidating. Of course, if the governor's banquet does not welcome lone wolves, then I won't go. Go back and tell Amos. No, 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 the assistant interrupted without caring about etiquette, that's not the case. What I mean is that you'd better bring your companions with you. It doesn't matter if you don't. As long as you go, it will be our great honor. This sentence is quite pleasant to the ear. John Killen's expression eased a little, revealing a faint smile, then please go back and tell Amos that I will go on time to celebrate his birthday. The assistant breathed a sigh of relief and immediately took out a signature pen from his briefcase. There was an inner page in the invitation, the reply letter. He took out the reply letter and handed it respectfully to the table in front of John Killen, and then handed over the pen. Please sign your name here, so that I can go back and report. John Killen did not take his pen, but took out the pen in front of his chest and signed his name on the reply letter. The column for the companion's name was empty. The assistant took the reply letter with both hands, put it in his briefcase, buckled the briefcase, patted the outside of the briefcase, and then immediately stood up and said goodbye. As if he was afraid that John Killen would change his mind if he was a second late. The assistant bowed to John Killen in the high back chair. Thank you, Mr. Fang. I will go back and report this good news to Mr. Amos. We will certainly wait for your visit. Considering your busy schedule, I will not bother you here. Goodbye. Butler, see you out. John Killen sat still. After the assistant left, John Killen was still sitting in the chair. He was hesitating whether to intervene. What is the other party's purpose? Is he trying to test Chen Ling's importance to him? Or? But no matter from which angle he analyzed it, he couldn't intervene. John Killen could only sit and wait, feeling very anxious. Chen Ling got on the plane to Country F, and he suddenly realized the other party's purpose. They wanted to kidnap Chen Ling. John Killen was very worried. But he knew that the Special Security Bureau must have known about this matter, and they would definitely try their best to prevent Chen Ling from being kidnapped. As for how to do it, I'm afraid only tough measures can be used. Then he had to be prepared. As long as the Special Security Bureau took action, he might be suspected. He had to think of his own retreat and find a way to save himself. He never expected that the Special Security Bureau would actually ask the deputy minister. John Killen almost laughed out loud. Chen Ling was safe. He could continue to perform his mission, so good, the hard work of these people was not in vain. Finally, Chen Ling returned home safely and sent him an arrival message in the tone of reporting official business, and he felt relieved. So, when Chen Ling was live today, he opened the live broadcast software openly and gave her a reward. As a sponsor, it is normal to do this, right? The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 651. So, Fang Wenjian should come to your birthday party alone, Assistant Marshal reported. Amos stood in front of the glass window and did not respond for a long time. Marshal waited for a while, but still did not wait for Amos to speak. So, Marshal called softly, Sir? Mr. Amos. Amos trembled all over, and then woke up from his meditation. He was slightly stunned, then turned around and said to Marshall, "I know, there is nothing for you here. Go and get busy." But Marshall did not leave. Huh? Amos raised his eyebrows and looked at Marshall. "What's wrong? Is there anything else? Did you find something unusual about Fang Wenjian?" "That's not the case. It's just that I don't understand." Marshall hesitated, but he made up his mind and said, "Even if her name is the same as her, you don't have to pay so much attention, right?" Marshall is one of the many orphans adopted by Amos. Adopting high-quality orphans and carefully training them to be loyal servants for their own use is a common trick used by the powerful. The younger the orphan, the more loyal they are. Depending on the qualifications of the children, they will be trained into different talents: lawyers, financial management talents, and those who are ruthless can be raised as death warriors, for example, sheepdogs, which have excellent qualities in all aspects, can be sent to the H-Rangers. Marshall has known Cheng-Ling since he was a child. Amos treats girls with black eyes and black hair differently from other children. After several contacts, all the confusion disappeared. This girl is really too good. No matter what kind of weapon, after disassembling it once, she can remember the steps and principles, and can also modify it. No matter what kind of ruthless character the opponent is, she can always play to her strengths and avoid weaknesses, and defeat the opponent in various unimaginable ways. Just contacting the code logic of the computer, she can quickly master it, quickly fill her knowledge base, and compile a very perfect small program. God must have helped her open the golden finger. Such a brilliant person, how can it not attract other people's attention? Marshall is no exception. Cheng-Ling had been his sexual fantasy for a long time. But Marshall had the coldness and calmness of a politician. He only fantasized about Cheng-Ling and had a crush on her, but never took action, because he knew that there would be no result between the two of them. Marshall knew Amos too well. As an excellent capitalist, a wise and ruthless politician, Amos would never allow a strong threat to exist around him. If Marshall and Cheng-Ling really became a couple, Amos would definitely find a way to get rid of them. Later, he heard that Cheng-Ling asked to retire. His first reaction at the time was that Cheng-Ling's life might not last long. If he were Amos, he would definitely find a way to get rid of Cheng-Ling. He hesitated again, and even violated his principle of not caring about things that do not concern me, and found Cheng-Ling, suggesting that she should not insist on retiring. But Cheng-Ling smiled and shook her head, saying that she was too tired. She was so tired that she could not hold on any longer. So, she died. Although there was no evidence, Marshall knew that Cheng-Ling died at the hands of Amos. Hearing Marshall's question, Amos's cheeks flushed with anger. He looked into Marshall's light gray eyes and said word by word, "It's not that I care about her, but she reminds me of my adopted daughter who died tragically. Seeing her can relieve my longing for my adopted daughter." "Bullshit," Marshall said in his heart. Of course, he only dared to say it in his heart. "Sir, you are too kind, but kindness also means weakness," Marshall said. "Your political enemies hope you will be weak. So, I hope you can cheer up as soon as possible. Your goal is within your reach, but it is this little distance left that is very difficult to walk. Becoming the governor of California is just the first step of Amos's ambition. His dream is to become the President of the United States. Of course, he can't stop at the governor.